After many years of patiently waiting through bouts of drama between the developer and their publisher, Subnautica fans finally get to dive into a new ocean planet and explore Subnautica 2's new, deep, and dark waters. I've also had a blast playing all of my hours with my sister in a co-op world, and while we haven't completed everything the early access build has to offer, I am confident with expressing my opinions with what I have played thus far. So let's discuss my first impression with Subnautica 2 and if it's worth your time. As a disclaimer, I have not played the first game, although I have watched a few playthroughs by my favorite YouTubers. Even with that limited experience in the previous title, I can confidently say that Subnautica 2 is a step up from its predecessor in nearly every way. The graphics are gorgeous, and I had little to no frame drops during my playthrough. Looking back at the previous game, it's easily night and day between all the graphical improvements and the fresh UI. The atmosphere continues to be the most compelling part of Subnautica, with the ominous landscapes and excellent sound design. Even some of the more tame predators are given deep and terrifying growls. And, since you're on a new planet, no organism or structure is the same from previous installments of Subnautica. Gone are the peepers and the reaper leviathans, and say hello to the water slugs and the nibbler mangoes. It's a refreshing and bold design choice. I'm especially glad that I don't have to deal with those exploding little pufferfish guys in this game. Even the basic equipment like the sea glide and the sea moth are given a new take, with new improved animations to match. If you are missing a taste of home though, you could always place a Reaper Leviathan statue in your home to keep you company. The gameplay loop is roughly the same, however. You'll be foraging for supplies and materials, interacting with the new NOAA terminals for new objectives, and exploring the deep unknown. Subnautica 2 does introduce new mechanics in adaptations, where touching a bulbous, alien-like tree will grant you a new passive that allows you to progress in the game. Not to spoil anything, but things like the ability to consume food and some of the suit upgrades from the previous title have been reintroduced as adaptations in this game. You can have active and passive abilities gained from the organisms you scan now as well. The ability to dash in a direction for evasion or a speed boost, paired with, say, your hunger meter going down much slower, are nice quality of life improvements and provide nice new functionality for players. But hands down, the best new feature that I wish every survival game would implement: the ability for the crafter to pull resources from any storage in the base. This saves so much time in having to forage through every single water storage of your base. You no longer need to remember how to craft a battery that you need for another item that needs to be crafted into another item. It's a godsend. Thank you. Now onto the multiplayer aspect. While initially nervous of the possible jankiness of playing with another player and possibly diminishing the overall horror experience, I was happily surprised to find my current playthrough extremely smooth and polished. Seeing it's less objectively scary, yes, but exploring new areas with my sister and encountering new horrifying creatures was just as terrifying as you expect. There was one small glitch during the prologue of the game, where my sister was stuck in a said prologue section, but she was transported to the surface without a hitch after the cutscene played. However, playing with another person feels so seamless and alleviates several of the more mundane parts of any survival game, such as gathering materials and limited inventory spaces. The hosting and joining process is also quite smooth, with one player hosting the world and other players being able to pop in and out at any time while retaining their location and inventory. As seen in the trailers, the new vehicles, like the replacement for the sea moth, also have multiplayer in mind. Your friends can grab onto the side of the vehicle and ride alongside the driver, and it keeps their oxygen topped off. Great features. Saying all this, be aware that this is a game that is currently launched in early access. The game is unfinished and planned to be updated over the course of 2 years according to developers. That means that you can roughly squeeze out 10 to 15 hours of gameplay in this current build before being unable to complete the story. However, I can happily report that the current build of the game is well optimized, largely bug-free, and still extremely fun. Overall, I would give Subnautica 2 Early Access First Impressions an impressive 9.2 out of 10. The only cons I can really mention are the limited amount of content that we currently have, as well as the removal of creature combat entirely. I accidentally chose to build our base right next to several predators, and you can deter them temporarily, but there's currently no permanent solution for killing any aggressive creatures in the game. I do believe that neither of these are truly a detriment though, seeing as how the game will grow to complete its story, and that the predators should be terrifying threats, but it's worth mentioning to see if it influences your buying decision. One last thing of note, there have been complaints on the EULA's verbiage being unusually aggressive or predatory, so I would advise you to look into it if you plan on using a VPN or things like that. That's it from me though. God bless, stay safe, know that you are loved. Bye.